Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back into another edition of Astros Recap. David Artis back at it here. It's Monday, April 17th, 2023, 2:41 p.m. So, a few things I want to talk about before I get into the Astros, and we got a lot to talk about. But start by saying last week's audio is not very good. I understand that. I didn't realize that the default mic was set up there. So I'm back. Audio this week should be better, and we'll make sure that's not an issue going forward. So I want to start by saying that. But it is Monday, so regular day, regular time-ish in the 2 p.m. hour. But we're here, ready to talk. So, but a lot to digest this week. So the Astros went 3-3. Not terrible, but you're expecting, you're playing the the Pirates, and you're playing the Rangers. You should take 4-6 at the very least. And the Astros just got issues galore we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. But they did take 2 or 3 from the Pirates, which was good. Winning they had a chance to sweep, really. Monday's game was really never in doubt. They got out, scored some early runs. Road to victory early there. Valdez was great. 7 innings of work. Bullpen shut him down. Tuesday we had an early lead, if I remember correctly, but the Pirates came back and they actually had a 4-2 lead going into the 9th. Now we did tie it off their closer. The Pirates actually have a pretty decent closer. Bednar, I believe, is something Bednar. Sounds right. He also pitched for Team USA, but he's, I would assume, a pretty good closer, but the Astros were able to get to him, and they scored 2 runs to tie it. And then Presley allowed a 3-run home run walk-off style in the 9th. But the Astros bounced back Wednesday day game, score a lot of runs, and that was never really in doubt either. So, But, yeah, 2 or 3, you'll take that off day Thursday, and then this weekend was pretty bad, with the exception of Saturday, the game they won, but Friday was pretty bad. Sunday was pretty bad. A lot of bad baseball. A lot of things to be. I'm just frustrated with the Astros right now, in a lot of different ways. I'm going to focus more so on the offense. Now the Astros are 5-7. Okay, so they're 5-7 this year. I saw this stat on Twitter. They were 5-7 last year to start the season after 12 games. Also 5-7 in 2021 after 12 games, so they're right on par for what they've done at least the last 3 years. So, but it's always hard to point to one issue. Now, like I said, I'm going to focus on the offense because I think that's where the issue lies, at least in my eyes right now. We'll talk about a few players coming up here, but I will start just quickly with the pitching. Now, starters are good with the exception of 2 guys. Those 2 guys are Luis Garcia. Hard to have any faith there. I'm ready for him to sort of take the step up. He's a 4 in the rotation, so I'm just looking for quality innings, but he can't even give us that. He allowed 5 runs on Friday against a team that really shouldn't be scared of a Texas Rangers lineup. They also have Corey Seager out right now. So really Marcus Semien. They got some nice pieces. Adolis Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe. They got some decent players, but you really shouldn't give up 5 runs to any team, let alone the Rangers. That's not a lineup that scares me. However, if I think about tonight, the Blue Jays, that lineup scares me. But Garcia's an issue right now. The other guy is Javier. Now Javier has a chance to sort of redeem himself with a good start tonight, because he will go up against that vaunted Blue Jays lineup. But he had a bad start, a good start, a bad start, so he's getting his fourth time here through the rotation as we go. I'm looking, the lineup just got sent out here, and God, Dusty Baker, what are you doing, man? And I was just about to talk about this as well as I look at the lineup right here. It just amazes me how Dusty Baker doesn't want to switch things up here. All right. Yes. So, let's going to talk about this lineup here. But starters, I'm okay with Valdez. I'm okay with Urquidy, and Hunter Brown's been great. Hunter Brown had a bad first start, but the 2 starts since that time, he's been good, very good, and giving them length. So the starters are going deeper now. We had that issue the first time around the rotation where no starter really got into the 7th inning, I think, and that was an issue. Our bullpen having to eat up 3-4 innings every night. But starters have been stretched out a little bit more now, and some of them are pitching better, not the exception of Garcia and Javier. We'll see, but that's where we're at there. Bullpen-wise, I know I'm trying to make this quick because I want to move to the offense more importantly here. Bullpen-wise, I mean, again, Stanek, Martinez are the 2 guys that sort of stand out as the guys that have, blown up in a few outings. Ryan Presley's had 2. I haven't seen Presley pitch, I feel like, in a week. I mean, Presley blew the save. I'm trying to think, when did Presley pitch last? Because I can't remember. He blew the save on Tuesday. I don't know if he came back Wednesday. I feel like Presley's got to get some work, unless I'm missing an outing. But Presley, I feel like, he hasn't pitched since Tuesday, so it's been a week now. We'll wait and see. He might get work tonight regardless of the score, but I feel like I just thought of that now. But Presley's first outing, which was opening day, where he gave up 2 runs, wasn't good. And then he hasn't blown any saves, but Dusty Baker likes to use him in the 9th inning. If the Astros are if the Astros are tied, it doesn't matter whether they're home or away. Sometimes if you're on the road, you'll wait to use your closer until you have the lead, if you can get it. I don't really disagree either way. Home, if you're at home, you're going to use them in a tie game, the 9th inning, because if you walk it off, then it's over. But I don't have a real issue the way Dusty Baker uses Ryan Presley. And the only issue would be him on the road, and that's not really a big issue for me. So anyway, I need a haircut bad. My hair's just all over the place. Anyway, so yeah, Presley's had his struggles in 2 games, but other than that, he's been hit. I mean, he hasn't given the in between of opening day and what happened Tuesday. The in between outings, he hadn't allowed a hit. So striking out guys his regular self. He's still adjusting to the pitch clock, which seems to be a tougher adjustment for him. Apparently, I heard somebody say he was the longest in between pitches last year. So the people that had the longest sort of time in between pitches last year struggle more when it comes to this pitch clock. So, but out of all Astros pitchers, Presley was the slowest last year. So, anyway. You look, Brian Abreu, I wish he'd be used more in late innings. That would be my sort of tie game. They're up a run or 2. I'd like to see Abreu more in the 8th inning. Neris completely crapped the bed yesterday with his gave up a grand slam. I mean, Neris will never, for me, be a reliable arm. They'll use him setup-wise, but I just don't have a lot of faith there. Montero's given up, single runs here and there, which can hurt if you're tied or you're up a run or 2. So Montero hasn't been done. I mean, you go up and down the line, really. Phil Maton, who hasn't been used a lot, hasn't given up a run this year. And I struggle to try to give Maton credit because every time I do that, at least in the past, he ends up the next outing giving up 2-3, home run, whatever it is, and he's right back to, can't trust him. But I will say, Maton so far this year is not allowed to run. So take that for what it's worth. That's sort of, I talked about Martinez, Stanek. Renel Blanco is the other guy who's now given up runs his last few outings. So we were hoping Renel Blanco would sort of turn into the Rafael Montero of last year, and that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He might find himself back in AAA if he continues to struggle. There's that for you. So bullpen's an issue. They're very. It's a coin flip. I don't know what to expect out of the bullpen. Starters, with the exception of Valdez and Urquidy and Brown. You're 2 and 4 guys right now. I don't have a lot of faith in. But again, Javier pitches tonight, so we'll see what we get there. But Garcia, he's the one I'm most upset with. This is Luis Garcia at this point. We'll move to the offense, and this is where the issue lies heavily. Okay, I'm going to try not to go on some big rant here, but we'll find out here. The lineup needs to be changed. Now, Dusty Baker, who I'm not blaming Dusty Baker for a single thing, yet at least, that is. I will blame him for tonight because I just saw the lineup and I don't like the way the lineup is constructed tonight. But there's issues in this lineup. Now, your best hitter right now is Mauricio Dubon. So just let that sink into your head for a second. Mauricio Dubon is your best hitter. Now, granted, Dubon has played well, okay? His average is like 340. We're going to look in a minute here. But he went on some big tear for about a week there. He's got like a 10-game hitting streak right now. He has won the second base job at this point because Hensley hasn't done, other than Hensley's first few games where he had a few singles, he hasn't done anything. Granted, he hasn't had a lot of playing time. Did play last night, not very good last night. But Dubon's won the job at second base if you were going to platoon that there. He's proven that, I mean, he doesn't hit home runs. There are a lot of singles, few doubles. But, I mean, I'm going to take that. So, Dubon is now he's going to be your second base guy. At least he's earned that right to be. Because Hensley hasn't done a whole lot. And, yeah. Alex Bregman's just a complete and total waste of time right now. He's hitting second, but he's hitting 190. He did hit 2 home runs in that Pittsburgh series, but after that he fell right back into his hole. And Bregman's just not worth what they pay him right now. $20 million, you're not worth it if you hit. I mean, again, he shows up postseason. He showed up 1 month last year, which was August, and then after that he was nothing. Nothing. By the way, as I have this on my mind, fan is blowing right here, so if there's background noise, it's the fan. One thing I forgot to mention at the top of this podcast here. Anyway, Bregman, get your shit together, because you're hitting 190, dude. And I get it, it's 3 weeks. I don't want to bury a guy. Bregman's been known for being a slow starter, but he's got to get things going here. Hitting third, Alvarez. Alvarez has cooled off a little bit. You know, when Alvarez and Tucker, those are the only 2 people hitting early on. When those 2 cool off, you get nothing anywhere. But I'm okay with Alvarez. I'm not going to dump on him. He's been one of their better hitters. I mean, come on. He had a home run on Friday, and he had a big 2-run double, I think, on Saturday. So it's not like he did strike out in some key situations over the weekend, but overall, Alvarez is still Alvarez. My biggest issue, the list is out, and there's a name on it, and that name is Jose Abreu. That dude has been just dreadful. Dreadful. This is where the rant sort of starts with Jose Abreu. But to see him again as the lineup comes out in the 4-hole, Jose Abreu sucks right now. He's a terrible first baseman, and he can't hit. You know, you make the move, you let Gurriel go, you bring in Abreu, which I was on board with. I knew that Abreu's defense was iffy. That's what scared me the most, and that's now been clearly stated as he error last night. You know, I think about Pena. A terrible throw, by the way. So Pena deserves the error. That is just an awful throw. But I just know that Gurriel would have made up and bailed Pena out because he would have scooped it out of the dirt, and that would have been an out. And I didn't see the second error Abreu had. Probably good I didn't, because I'd probably go off even more. But he's not a first baseman. He's not any baseman. He can't play the field. I would use him. And this is where I think Dusty Baker needs to sort of get up and actually realize it and not use him in the field. I mean, you play Alvarez in left field, so you have an open DH. That should be Jose Abreu. And I have another suggestion for you. You bring up Yainer Diaz instead of Corey Lee because you like his bat, right? And you have this love obsession with... I just lost it. I'll pull it back up here. You have this love obsession with Martin Maldonado behind the plate, so Diaz will get no playing time. However, I've heard that he can play first base. He can play maybe left field. So why not use Diaz at first base if you like his bat so much? Move Abreu down in the order because he has no right to be anywhere hitting top 5. Move him to 6, 7. I mean, you finally moved Pena down in the lineup, and you gave Chaz starts you gave Chaz a chance at leadoff, and it was actually looked like it was working pretty well. But God, I don't want to bury Dusty Baker, but he's got the lineup card. And to see the lineup that came out like 5 minutes ago, to see what it looks like, which is the same as yesterday, change it up. It's not working. Didn't work yesterday. Hasn't worked all year. I mean, come on. Every time the Astros get a win, it's like I go into the next day feeling good. Like, all right, let's see if we can reel off 2, 3, 4 in a row. And they go back and they fall right back to what they were. And they're 7-9. And it pisses me off. And I'm just completely I hate this right now by the Astros. I hate the lineup. I hate Jose Abreu, Alex Bregman, Jeremy Pena. Guy didn't bring up Jeremy Pena. He's been terrible this year. Pena's been terrible. I mean, it's just Jake Myers. Nothing. He's been terrible. Maldonado. He is who he is. I want to see the depth of this team is nothing. You let Diaz walk. I mean, you let Gurriel go. I was okay with that. But Diaz, I mean, you don't have utility because Hensley can't hit. It's just up and down the lineup. There's no faith going forward. Now, I don't want to bury this team. It's just, God, if I wasn't talking with the video I'm going to post, I would be cussing left and right now, but I can't do that, so. But Abreu is on the list. Alex Bregman's right behind him. Pena, Garcia. I mean, you just pick and shoot. Those 4 guys right now I can't stand to see in this lineup. Okay with Alvarez, Tucker. Moldy is who he is. I've learned to accept that. You know, I want Jake Myers to work out. I want him to. I know Chas McCormick hasn't been in the lineup because Chas McCormick had some vision issue that happened to him on Friday, so he was in the lineup Saturday, Sunday. Was he back in the lineup today? I know Dubon was leading off. Let's see. No, he's not. Jolks will get the start in left, Myers in center, so he's still not in the lineup. But I can't get over the fact that Jose Abreu is hitting 4th. But Dubon's hitting 340. Bregman, 194. You suck. Alvarez, 288. I'll take it. 20 RBIs, too, for Alvarez. Abreu, 239. That's higher than it should be. But Abreu's been just awful. And to put him in the 4 hole, you should move Tucker up, who's hitting 5th. He's hitting 302 with 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. He should be the cleanup guy. It should be Alvarez and Tucker. I don't care about the whole left and left back-to-back. I don't care about, Alvarez and Tucker hitting back-to-back. I know Dusty, that's probably his reasoning. I don't want 2 lefties hitting back-to-back. It's stupid, okay? Tucker should be the cleanup guy. Pena, 227. Yeah, that sucks. Jokes, 289. Now, smaller sample size than some of these other guys, granted, but I'm okay with Jolks. Myers, 160. Moldy, 206. Moldy, you hit 206 by the end of April. I'll take it, and I won't be upset there. But, yeah, that's your lineup tonight. And you're going up against Kevin Gossman, who's 1-1, 1.35 ERA. Christian Javier, 1-0, 4.24. He's got some things to prove tonight. So, yeah. But just up and down the lineup, it's just Abreu's garbage, Bregman's garbage, Pena's garbage. We know what Maldonado is. Jake Myers isn't anything. I mean, once you get to 6, 7, 8, 9, it's just a bunch of trash down there right at this point. So, and I mean, you got Abreu hitting 4th, who's also trash. And I mean, literally, if Dubon can continue to hit, which is yet to be seen, it's Alvarez and Tucker. That's it. You get 3 guys, possibly. That's it. Everybody else has a lot to prove, And Abreu and Bregman are useless. Now, Bregman plays good third base, but Abreu can't play good first base. That's the easiest position on the diamond to play, and he can't do it. I'd rather see Diaz play first. That's what I heard. I heard he could play multiple positions. But you love Yanier Diaz's bat, right? Or so I've heard. He's hit everywhere, right? Yet you won't play him. And you won't play him where he could be played, and you force Abreu out there who can't hit worth a lick right now. It's just all bad right now. 5 and 7. I don't want to listen. I'm not concerned. I'm not panicking. I'm just frustrated with this team right now. It just bothers me up and down the lineup. It does. It really does. I want to get you some more stats before I get off here, but again, I try to keep these short and sweet. I know last week's was pretty long, but I want to keep these short and sweet. So let me just get some numbers. I'm going to move back to the... I just gave you a bunch of averages with our players, so... Guys, it's, I actually would rather... Now, I don't like the Astros when they lose like they are, but these podcasts, when they're struggling, gives me a chance to get a lot off my chest, I feel like. So, at least there's that. But, God, I have some suggestions for Dusty Baker. If this continues the way it is, and Bregman, I'm okay with Bregman being in the 2-hole. I don't know who you're going to replace him with, but you just need to move Abreu. It's every time. Something else about Abreu on Saturday. This gets swept under the rug because there's an error, but we started getting the offense going a little bit. Alvarez walked in a run. They had scored a few runs now. They were opening up the game on Saturday, and it was like, here comes Abreu. Big chance. Bases loaded, 1 out. What does he do? Grounds into a tailor-made double play. 6-4-3. Set up perfectly. There's a ground ball, shortstop right there. Easy double play. And the shortstop misjudges the hop. It gets by him, scores 2 runs. People should not forget that, because that would have been a double play that just killed the inning. I can't continue with Abreu. I just cannot do it. I can't do this with Abreu. God. I know it's early. I don't want to get all upset. But there's just issues with the lineup. And it starts with Alex Bregman and Jose Abreu. Those 2 players just stink up the joint right now. Another thing about Abreu, he doesn't even care. He gets out there, jersey unbuttoned, he wears his little chin beard with a rubber band around it. And he gets up there and he just swings. Strikeout, double play. Walk back to your dugout. He just doesn't even care. It doesn't even look like he cares. People that struggle, Bregman's the same way. At least show some emotion to show me you at least care. That's what bothers me also. So, God, with Abreu, if he doesn't start producing this week, I'm done. I'm sorry. I know it's early. I shouldn't overreact, but God, it's bad baseball right now. Bad baseball. It's amazing they're 5-7 with the trash lineup they send out there every day, to be quite honest with you. And I'm not talking about people like Alvarez, Tucker. Those guys are fine. Dubon's been hitting now. He's fine. But everybody else needs to do better. And it starts with Abreu and Bregman. Those 2 guys, Abreu, Bregman. They both stink up. They stink up the joint right now. They both suck. They don't deserve to be Major League Baseball players at this point in time. And Abreu can't play first base. So to make matters even worse, he can't even play defense. At least with Yuli, who hit 240 last year, provided nothing with the bat until the postseason hit, at least you knew he could play first base. Abreu can't do it. And I sort of felt this way going into the whole first base issue. I knew that was going to be a challenge, but he should be the DH, especially since Alvarez isn't. Alvarez plays left field. I know I'm repeating everything, but Alvarez plays left field. You love him playing left field. Brantley's not here right now. Altuve's not here right now. That does hurt. Not having Altuve, not having Brantley, not having those 2 really shortens the lineup. It hurts the depth of the lineup. I mean, your bullpen guy, your bench, you have nobody. Chas McCormick, Jake Myers, good choice there. David Hensley, Yainer Diaz, Cesar Salazar. There was a point in last night's game. The Astros were down 6-0. You loaded the bases, nobody out. Maldi comes up, and I'm thinking, this is a spot where you'd probably pinch hit, right? Because it's a big situation for the Astros have a chance to get back in the game here. But I'm thinking to myself, all right, because they were changing pitchers. They were bringing in a new pitcher, the Rangers were. And I was thinking during the timeout, I was like, you know what? Actually, Maldi has to hit because there's nobody on the bench that can right now. So that'd be a position last year where I'd bring in Diaz or anybody. Anything over Maldonado, we know he can't hit. He strikes out. Swings at 2 pitches that were just not even close, by the way, in the dirt. the stupidity there is just unbelievable to me. Takes a pitch, strikes out, and then you get Dubon who's up. You usually expect to make contact. He strikes out. Bregman does walk. So that was the only run they scored, was a bases loaded walk. And the pitching and Neris and Framber was great for 6 innings, struggled in the 7th. Neris struggled. Who else came? Blanco gave up a few runs. So, I mean, it's just bad all around. Before I get off, I want to give you some pictures here. So, I'm going to give you some quick stats. Talking about Javier. It's weird that Javier hasn't lost a game with 2 bad starts, but he's 1-0, 4.24. Needs to get better with Javier. We know that. If we move forward, Urquidy, who I do like, 1-0, 2.35. Clearly take that. Garcia stinks, 0-2, 7.71 ERA. That's terrible. Hunter Brown here. Let's see if I can move back. But Hunter Brown's been good. His last 2 starts, he's been phenomenal. I have to go back. I was looking ahead. Now I have to go back to look at this. Hunter Brown's 2-0, 1.93 ERA. That's really good. I'll give you Valdez's real quick here. He's got 2 losses now, which was opening day, I think. Was it? I'm not sure. Anyways, 1-2, but 1.80 ERA, which I'm fine with. He got tagged with 5 runs, 1 earned. Obviously, Pena, Abreu, your screw up there from a defensive standpoint caused that. Pena's another guy that I know I haven't ripped on, but he needs to be better. That dude's a strikeout machine. You know how I feel about strikeout machines. Anyway, I want to give you a few numbers there. I'm not going to go through the bullpen. I just don't have time here. I'm going to wrap things up there. Love to hear a comment section below. Ease my frustration somehow, some way. But Jose Abreu is on the list. He has made his way. First guy on the list. Bregman's right behind him if he doesn't start hitting this week. The Astros schedule gets pretty beefy here. You got Toronto for 3. You stay here at home. Toronto actually won 4 of 6 against the Astros last year, so taking, series here would be nice, but I have no faith they can do that. Then you go on the road to Atlanta for 3. Atlanta's hot this year. Then you stay out there and you play Tampa Bay for 3. Your next 9 games are against 3 of the better teams all in baseball right now. We know how good Tampa Bay is. Toronto, stopped their winning streak. Tampa Bay won 13 in a row, but they lost 2 or 3 to Toronto over the weekend. And Atlanta's also playing good baseball right now. So you got some tough matchups coming up, and you don't have time to still try to figure things out. You either play well, or Dusty Baker's going to deserve some accountability here. If Abreu continues to struggle, he continues to hit him 4th. That's just beside myself. I want to see more Diaz. I know Diaz hasn't played perfect this year, but you don't give him enough plate appearances to. It's the thing. Same thing with Jake Myers. Like, you play Jake Myers like 1 or 2 games here, and it's like, all right, well, we'll go back to Chet. Like, give a guy, 40 at bats. Give a guy a solid, leash before. And usually I'm the guy I have short leashes on everybody. But give people like Myers and Diaz, at least give them solid ABs for a week or something, just so we can get some. But you put a lot of pressure on guys like Diaz and Myers when you're like, all right, well, we'll play you here, and then you're going to take 3-4 days off. And the only reason Myers is in the lineup and he's played the last 3 days is because of Chas McCormick's vision problems or whatever it is. But we're missing Brantley and Altuve right now. I'll just say that. I know I'm coming up on. I hate to make these this long, so skip around if you'd like. I'm just frustrated. I need to stop talking and just try to go in tonight with a clear head. So, but yeah, I'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you. One thing I want to before I actually get off here. So, next Monday I should be back on. Be an early start time at Tampa, so probably a little earlier. I mean, it's 3:11 now. I mean, even if I get Sunday is a tough day because I get off late, but The Monday after that, they play 3 with San Francisco, Seattle. You might not hear from me for about 2 weeks because I have to work the morning shift starting next Wednesday, and that runs all the way through. It's 2 full weeks basically, where I have to be up at 2:30 in the morning and work until noon, and then I basically come home and I'm just drained the rest of the day, and I get a nap, and we'll see. I'll try to find some time to do it, but I will be here with no problems next Monday probably, or Sunday night. We'll wait and see. But you hit that subscribe button, you should get my updates every time these are released. I'll try to get this out here in about 20 minutes, but yeah, I'm just shaking my head. This team's frustrating right now. But yeah, time to get things going. So anyway, I'll wrap things up there. We'll talk to you in a week.